we have a lot to cover today. But before we even get into it, I'm going to want to take this opportunity to actually give a moment of silence to Alex Preety. As everybody knows, this is the latest murder done by ICE. I think I even heard that there was another one that was done in another place after that one. So, we're really going through some bad times here. So I'm going to just do 1 minute of silence and to give them grace and peace. I don't know about you guys, but when that last murder took place and it was at point blank range, I burst out into tears. And there's no two sides about it.
Mhm.
I felt a lot of emotion over it. Um, and then finding out who he was. I mean, he was a RN at the VA hospital, an RN,
I
you know?
instantly turned to anger. I started fuming, and this morning I started fuming even more from, the right trying to say, see, as if it's some sort of justification. Whether the video is real of him kicking a taillight out or not, I didn't realize kicking a taillight out, the sentence was death for that.
I,
It's mm.
I don't even know if that's a true story. But from every video that I saw, he came in, and especially from the woman in pink, he came in to
Oh, no,
protect
this
her.
was 11 days ago before or whatever, he was on
Okay,
video.
okay.
Yeah, so that there's another video. Some people are saying it's AI, but legacy media has picked it up. I think the BBC shared it or whatever of him having a confrontation with ICE like 11 days previously. And, they got in their car to leave and he kicked their taillight, busted it. So they got out of the car, which they probably should have just kept going. And they're using that as justification as, see, he was violent.
I this is some Big Brother tactics.
Yeah.
I can't even respond to that. I notice a few people have joined us, and I do want to acknowledge them. Miss Cohen, thank you for coming. You and I just saw you over the weekend. Yes, with you, I was crying too. Blaine, thank you for joining us as well. Nice to
Ashley.
see. It's nice to see you again, Dina. Isa, thank you for joining. We have quite a few people that have joined us early on. Today we're going to be going over quite a few things, and I didn't mean to cut you off there, Jason, but
Oh, you're good. You're good.
I did want to give some acknowledgement. We're going to actually discuss Jack Smith live that took place last week during the same time that we were going on. So we didn't get much viewership at that time, but we did want to go over a little bit about his live testimony. We're also going to talk a little bit about the clock, what's going on over there. I did actually go on the clock for a little bit of time, like 3 weeks, just to lurk, just to figure out things. And then I did 2 postings, and then I deleted my app. So went from one to the other. And then if we have time, we may talk a little bit about the Fulton County raid, and we'll go from there. And then we'll go bridge into 2026. So we do have a lot that we're going over today. And to start it off, what did you think about Jack Smith's live testimony? Where do you think it's going to go?
Um, I think it was a absolutely stupid move for the Republicans to allow him to testify. You're going to have as we always say, you're going to have people that, like Trump tweets or whatever he did during the testimony saying he's getting
Did.
demolished.
He did, I
No,
found that.
what they're doing is they would ask him a question, right? And whatever that question may be, and as soon as he would start to give an articulate answer, they would boom, interrupt him, and they wouldn't give him a chance to answer. So the Democrats would then ask him the same question, but in a kind of a different tone, and give him a chance. His answers were direct, straightforward, articulate, and they spoke volumes. They screamed loudly. He did not let Republicans get under his skin. He very clearly said that, had if Trump is not where he was now, he would be indicted. He would be sitting
Absolutely.
standing trial right now.
He basically said there was enough evidence to indict him.
Yep.
So, he said, and it was from both sides. What the Republicans were trying to do was make this a partisan investigation. And what he continued to say that he is nonpartisan. If a Democrat would have done the same thing, he would be
Yep.
going after them in the same way.
He also said, "I don't even know if I'm registered. Am I a Republican, Democrat? I don't." I remember him saying that. I don't think I'm registered in any affiliation with any party, and if
Correct.
I am, it's news to me. That was
Correct.
probably about halfway through.
Well, this kind of goes into, and I'm going to frame it this way. We talk a lot about narrative, and what the Republicans were actually trying to do is they were doing what you would describe as a narrative inversion. So, and that narrative inversion was there to protect Trump.
Mhm,
That was the shifting of it, regardless of whether or not it was partisan, nonpartisan, they were changing the narrative to make it seem like he was going after him because he was a Republican, which
mhm,
kind of is strange in my opinion, because look at how Trump is using the DOJ now as his personal attorney,
mhm.
you know,
It's,
so
it's my favorite saying is every accusation is a confession when it comes to Trump and Republicans.
absolutely.
He ran for office based on their weaponizing the government, and the first thing he did was he weaponized the government. He's trying to pull as much power and control to the executive branch as he possibly can, and there's a reason for that. And what frustrates me the most about this whole thing is he because of policy, because of a DOJ standing policy that you cannot indict a sitting president. Since when is policy law? That's that part. I mean, that infuriates me inside. That
Well,
makes me just
SCOTUS
like
did it. SCOTUS made it. So
it's
that
still not
policy,
law.
yeah, well, in this case, I would say, and you can disagree, this case, I believe that the facts didn't fail. The facts were there.
Yep.
What it failed was the enforcement was blocked, and the enforcement was blocked from both sides.
Can you imagine what volume 2 looks like? Can you imagine? Because we've only seen volume 1, right?
Right.
And they're pushing now to, and that's the classified documents part. Um, and that expires what, next month or this month, February? Sometime in February. So I can only begin to imagine the evidence that he has, uh, whatever it may be, in volume 2 that told him, beyond a reasonable doubt that I could get a conviction. Your internet's unstable, my dear.
Yes, it keeps saying my internet is unstable.
Hey, get off the internet if you're interrupted. Tell everybody to get off their devices.
Yeah. So if I actually get disconnected, I'll come back on and let everybody know. I don't even know if it's not on 3G. It says 3G. Hold on, everyone. Jason, we were going to move into the whole clock app
Yeah.
anyway, but before I kind of check what's going on my end, do you feel that the investigation actually worked, or did the system actually create that story to preserve power? Because I'm
Uh,
of the opinion that the whole thing was created in order to preserve power and to keep Trump as our illegitimate president, because I can't refer to him as our president.
um,
I'm
you
I'm
know,
here.
I, I,
I'm just
I um, to be honest, when this all took place, if we go back to November 2024, and I've often said it before, I didn't know when all this stuff started coming out, um, ETA, smart elections, Rockland lawsuit. I was one of those like on the fence, going, "Yeah, okay, we've heard this shit before. This isn't, it's not going to go nowhere." Um, then um, the ETA started doing those reports, and I had asked a friend of mine to look at the first report, the data, and I showed it to him, and I showed him the long form report, and he's a data analyst, and he looked at it, and he said, his exact words were to me was, "Something's wonky. This isn't right. This should not look like this." And I didn't tell him what it was. Um, but then afterwards, I told him what it was, and he's like, "Are you shitting me?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I didn't tell him what it was." He said, "Yeah, this is not normal. These patterns, this is not a normal pattern in any data analysis." And then when he knew what it was and he looked at it, this was after I think um, the Pennsylvania one come out, the second one. I gave that to him as well, and he's like, "Yeah, I think they did something." And then when I learned from Blaine, Ashley, who's still in here somewhere, I hope. Yeah, hey, there you are. Uh, that educated me on how our elections work, how our same day voting is different from mail in and early voting, how they're counted differently, and versus how in person same day votes are counted. I that point on, I went, nope. I know what side of the fence I fall on. I am not a closed minded individual. Um, and the friend I know that does data analysis, like he told me, it would only take one line of code, one line of code. That's it.
they
And that's why I
actually
say constantly.
they actually proved that in it was like a hacking event that it was extremely simple to do.
Yep.
So that kids could do it.
Yep. And
So
that goes,
that's how
that's
simple.
why I found that video that I posted a month ago or so, that University of Michigan professor that now I don't believe that they actually hacked the voting machines themselves, because I think
No,
they knew
it's the
the attention.
tabulators.
Yeah, yeah, it was the counting machines, but it could have been, they could have anywhere from the tabulators, because it goes from the voting machine, same day voting. At the end of the night, when you cast your vote, it says your vote has been counted, but it truly hasn't been counted yet. At the end of the night, they take those and they put them in a tabulation machine. They count the votes. They send them to the county. The county then sends them to the state. The state then sends them to the vendor, and the vendor then sends them to the media. And this all happens very fast, in today's technology. And those are a lot of steps for vulnerabilities. I've always kept an open mind about everything. I'm not going to
Absolutely.
be that closed mind individual. Like, we're the United States. War is never going to happen on our land. We're the United States. Nobody's
War
ever.
can
This can't happen
absolutely
here.
happen on our
I'm not going to
land.
be that close. And to the woman yesterday that attacked, my friend over on the Clock app about some documents she shared, she was very clear in her video that I don't know if these are real or not, and they presented these documents as they were the same ones from 2022, where they say a report came out that Trump chickened out to sign the executive order to take all the machines from everywhere. And whatever the hell he was going to do. But the two sets of documents are very different. The only thing
Right.
the same on those documents is, I, President of the United States, Donald Trump. That's it. Um, whether it was leaked, whether it's valid or not, wasn't the point. The point is, I can see him doing this. I can see, and I've
Correct.
said it. How many times have I said it? Especially anybody in the audience knows me and follows me on TikTok. I've said it 1,000 times. He is going to try something to either cancel the midterms or some stupid ass executive order that says, well, we can't have midterms because of the chaos, or we're just doing so good. We don't need midterms. And
Well,
the answer you get from those
what I
people are
just
the Constitution says he can't do that. And all I got to do is
well,
laugh
and
at
then let me the Constitution, what
Yep.
guardrails are left within the Constitution? Let's just put that right out there right now. Looking at the number of the executive orders that he did file that are actually against the Constitution and that have gone through. So the guardrails of the Constitution is in non-existence while he has this trifecta. He has SCOTUS, he has Congress, he has a trifecta. So none of this it's to say, "Oh, it goes against the Constitution." It means jack shit to me today.
Yep.
Absolutely nothing,
Exactly. Yeah.
you
And I
know?
don't understand why certain people can't see that. I don't. And I'm not saying
Yes.
that
Yes,
that they got
Blaine.
to say, you know what, you're right about everything. I see it now. I'm not saying they got to do that.
I
What I'm
know.
saying is,
I
you use your imagination. You're talking about a guy who is in show business, a guy who wants to be a mob boss, a guy who is,
well,
allegedly.
I don't know, I do wanna stop you right there. I wanna stop you. I don't put this on the personality of the man himself. I put this on everything that man. I'm putting this on Ron Vault. I'm putting this on Project, 25.
Oh yeah.
Actually be through Project 2025, and I'm sure you probably have. Read through 25, there's over 80% that they have already done.
Yep. My favorite page was page 3.
Are you back,
Yep. I'm
Jason?
here. I'm here. I was losing you in and out.
Okay.
Sorry, everybody.
Okay,
Technical difficulties. Please stand
so
by.
I'm not putting y yeah. So I'm not putting the man himself, the personality of the man himself, as the problems with what we're having with the system today. He is the benefactor. He is the puppet. So that's who he is. Regardless of what he's done at television in the past, that has no bearing to what I'm talking about, in my opinion, to what's taking place today. They
Well, what I'm
wanted him
saying is
as
is the
president
way he's governing. He's governing,
right.
and I've said, like, the way he's trying to govern. He's not trying to be a president. He's trying to be a conqueror. He's governing like you would govern on a movie or a television series. That's the way he's governing. He's
I
not
get
governing
that.
as a serious president of the United States. He's
I
like,
get that. I get that.
oh, he just makes me so damn angry. I'm not gonna no.
I
I'll
I get that, but I have a feeling that, his hatchman, for some reason, just dropped out of my mind, Vance will be
Oh
worse.
yeah, I don't because he's a he can actually speak in complete sentences, and
Yeah, that's
he's an
true.
educated, racist, bigoted, homophobic, transphobic piece of shit. So
But
there's a big difference.
I do wanna, shift the conversation now to the clock. Blaine, yes, you're gonna be able to go over all the, patterns, about the election coming up soon, hopefully. So we really are going to look forward to that conversation. That will take place on one of these Tuesdays coming up in the next couple of weeks. And Blaine, I think it's some of your input about the TikTok app. It would be really
Yeah.
necessary.
Oh yeah.
So as I stated at the very beginning, before we jumped into Jack Smith is I went on TikTok for maybe about 3 weeks. Jason, was
Yep,
it about three
about that.
weeks? And about that. So I went on there. I was a lurker. I was just checking things out, and I actually found some two-sided things. So that made me comfortable. Then what happened? Larry Ellison, Monday. It was Monday, right? Things are moving so quickly.
Sunday, I think it was.
Was Monday, came in Monday or Sunday, and came in, and the algorithms were all of a sudden very different. And I get a text from Jason, "Hey, my stuff isn't up. Can you check it out?" So I go check it out. Couldn't find it, you know. And so I decided at that point, well, let me post a couple of videos and see if I get sort of traction. My first video never got posted. Reason why I never got posted is I put in the word ice. It was about the Minnesota National Guard handing out donuts and coffee. I made it a comic strip sort of video. That one actually got posted, but I got 2 views. No, 1 view, 2 likes. One of those likes being from Jason. Then I went back and reposted the first video that got declined, and I changed ice into ice cubes, the emoji ice cubes. It immediately got posted, and all of a sudden I had trolls commenting on my page. Well, that was enough for me. So I let that sit for about a day, and then I deleted the app. So, Jason, tell me what's going on with it. What's
Well,
going on with TikTok? What's going on with the suppression?
we have to start. We have to go back to the fact that almost all of our lawmakers at one time wanted this app gone because of ByteDance. ByteDance, a Chinese parent company, whatever. Fast forward to the deal. ByteDance still has a 20% stake in TikTok.
Yes, they do.
So what was the point? That's my what was the point? So I think when anything changes ownership like that, um, especially with technology, I look to Wiseacre, who's on TikTok, and like he explained it, they're going to make changes, which they did. They blamed it on some power outage or whatever it may be. Um, but what I'm noticing now are one thing I've learned, and I think if Blaine is still here, she could learn. There are certain things that you want to get out that you save till the end of your video, right? You save it like if I want to talk on there and and say whatever I got to say in the last few seconds of my video, I say Donald Trump's a treasonous piece of shit, national embarrassment. They don't ever watch the full
Real
video.
quick.
But now they've got
Ah,
the AI system that runs the full video. So I did a video this morning that got reported after 8 views. Um, I did some news stuff, some headlines that were going on about Canada, some secret meeting they had, and about him posting uh, about Obama being arrested for treason, shit like that. And at the end of the video, I said he didn't win, he didn't get shot, and he is the list. Boom, video was taken down after 8 views. But the thing is, I've said that in many videos, many videos. So I think what they did is they probably looked train the AI a little differently to look for critical videos against Trump. But that's not all. The other thing that I noticed happened, and I made a video about this, I was watching one of my mutuals, Ken Wisconsin, watching one of his videos. Great guy, lives in Wisconsin, awesome content creator. After I watched his video, sometimes when you swipe up, it'll ask you a question. Do you find this video appropriate? If you are live or whatever, do you find this live educational or this advertisement? This questionnaire popped up after his video and asked me, "Hey, do you guys have contact off the app too? Are you friends with Ken off the app?" That's none of your damn business, TikTok. That
well,
I found very curious. So do a lot of other people I've talked to about it and off the app. They're like, You got that's why I said you got when you're on TikTok, you got to make sure, but I don't even think it matters. There's a setting that you can turn off in TikTok that that stops the app from getting your contacts. If
Yeah,
you
you have
don't
to
have
go
that
into
setting
your
off,
own settings.
yep, they will go into your contact list. And I found that very, very peculiar. Very peculiar that, you want to know if I talk to him off because he's not in my contacts list.
And what about the hits that you're getting now on your videos? Are you noticing lower hits?
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's starting to kind of, balance back up. And I have quite a few regulars, that come to my page and they help boost my content. They leave more, they leave a good comment. They watch the whole video. I mean, I got some good loyal people that, really, really like me over there. And that's why I'm not going to quit there because I go there. And the people keep me coming back. And I still have probably maybe only a couple dozen people, but from my first account that followed me. And, I never understood it. I never did. I kind of do now. Uh, you know, I grew to almost 40,000 followers. I used to average 3 to 5 million views a week. Um, I ended up getting on Marjorie Taylor Greene's radar because of a video I made,
Mhm.
which I thought, hey, that's a good thing. The older millennial people know who he is. He blocked me on that old account back then, and that's when things were a lot differently. And and I think the reason I figured it out is because I'm you guys. I'm the people out there. I'm just a regular person that lives my life. I have all daughters. So I'm a strong advocate for women's rights. And I think I related to a lot of people, and they related to me, and they appreciated the fact that I had a big mouth, and they appreciated the fact that I said it how it is. I'm not.
And
I used to say,
you're not trying to put fancy words
no,
around
no,
your
exactly.
language.
I'm not going to be at a desk going, tonight at 11, join me on TikTok for my video about what the fuck is going on. That's not me. I'm going to tell you how it is and what I think. These are the facts. And if I make a mistake, I'll hold myself
You're gonna
accountable.
own
I'll say,
it.
you know what?
Y
I, I,
Yeah, you're gonna own it.
I screwed up. And I've done that a few times. I've learned my lesson now, so I say, but we'll see what happens. You know, LOL on that. But
So, do
it's a
I'm
power grab.
gonna ask, how do you feel about this, though? How do you feel about the fact that, to me, it's like Big Brother looking over all my
yeah,
actions? I mean, they're
it
doing
angers me.
geolocation now.
Yeah, it angers the shit out of me.
They're doing
Yeah,
geolocation.
that's what changed. When I post a video too, um, like it would keep in memories and it would use my basic location or whatever like that.
Mhm.
But now with the geolocation, I always put in my location in my videos as Michigan. Now it's
Right.
down to my damn town, and I'm like, I won't put that
Yeah,
in,
and that's
right? And I just, I tell
right.
people I don't hide it. I live in the greater Grand Rapids, Michigan area. I have nothing to hide. I don't.
Correct.
I think it's them.
As you know, I go by my real name. I don't hide behind anything, you know? And it's important for credibility for me, that's the reason why I go by my real name, for credibility. But I do have problems with a platform that's trying to control my behavior,
Right.
trying to control what I put out there, trying to suppress anything that I feel is pertinent or relevant to our society today.
Yep.
And what they're doing is, I guess, we do, unfortunately, we are partisan right now. We are a divided nation. Now,
Yep.
it's not as 50-50. I
No.
would say it's more
No.
like
They're
25-75.
Yeah. They're not the silent majority. It's just I left a comment. I wish I could share
Right.
the screen on here.
And
Right.
they have trolls, and they have Jason is gone again. He just broke
No, I'm
out.
here.
I
That's
switched
your internet.
my, video from Wi-Fi to, 5G.
Uh oh. We'll come back if you guys can hear me. I'm still here. There you are. Hey, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I think so. We still have 24 viewers here.
Yep. Can you hear me
So
now?
we do have time to jump in. I hear you.
I wanted to
Hello.
tell you about, okay, what happened with, does anybody remember, you might know this, what happened with, like, was it, Scotland or Ireland or something, where they kidnapped somebody, or I don't know what exactly it was. Um, but I seen this video of this, I guess, I don't know, elected official in Scotland or Ireland or somewhere over there, right?
Oh,
And it came across TikTok, and he's pissed, right? He's like, "We don't need you. We don't need you to the United States. We got this. We're big boys. We can handle it," right? So I left a comment on there
right.
saying, you know, uh, 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 a nice one. Yeah, please check this out. You really want to get under Trump's skin? Go to this website, electiontruthalliance.org, read this, make your own determination, and start calling him an illegitimate president. That'll piss him off more than anything. Could not be restored. Could not be restored.
Oh, talking about pissing them off more than anything. Anybody that's viewing this, go and download Bruce Springsteen's latest song.
Oh, yeah.
Download Bruce Spring latest song. It's something else. He names the names. It's in solidarity with Minnesota. He talks about the murders. Well, sings about the murders. It's a great song. Make it number one. Go and
Yep,
download it. I did,
yep.
and I'm probably going to put a video out on it
You want me to
with one of the general strike signs. Uh, for tomorrow. So I would recommend download it, make it number one. That will piss him off.
did you see what he hung in the White House?
That is another thing to be. What did he hang
A picture with
in
him
the
and Putin.
White House?
So we have Vladimir Putin hanging up in the White House. I thought I'd let you know that. I got a hole in my lip. Yep. He
Yeah.
won't hang Joe Biden's
So
picture
let's
up,
move
but he'll hang
on.
Vladimir Putin's.
Let's move on.
Yep.
What do you think about the Fulton County raid?
Well, I don't think it has anything to do with the 2020 election, but I do. Okay. I think what they want to do, and I'm just thinking outside this big box I have, right? And I think they want to know what happened in 2020 and what went wrong in 2020 and why it didn't work in 2020. That's what I think. But I also think it's
Well,
about,
I thought the conclusion did come to it was the mail-in ballots, and we talked a little bit
yeah, we
about
know
mail-in
that.
ballots last week.
But do you think
Right.
that they're paying it, that Trump is paying attention to the ETA? Nah, not yet. Not yet. He's not. So I'm like, I could have saved
Well,
Trump.
someone's paying attention to the ETA because or to us or to others that pinpointed the mail-in ballots as being the number one thing that swung the
Yep.
election. Um, that anything that was found, because I wrote about this, anything that was found that was to be irregular within the election was actually in Biden's favor, not in Trump's favor. So that tells you that there was some irregularities, but those irregularities was showing Trump as the winner, in which case Biden was the winner.
Yep.
So what does that tell you?
I don't.
And they use the same thing. This is speculation from me. They use the same tactics from 2020 into 2024, and it
Yep.
worked because there was no COVID and because the mail-in ballots had dropped off.
Well,
So it worked.
here's what you want. This is what my brain is telling me. The honest portion is I don't think it's anything. I think it's just them showing their weight. And I think what they're going to start doing is what I think Trump is trying to do, and whatever his minions, is they're trying to find a way and find an excuse and a leverage to go to the Supreme Court and pull the elections away from the states back or into federal control. That's what I think he's trying to do. That
Okay.
simple as that. That's all I can think of. That he wants it under federal control. He's trying to pull as much power from the states as he can, and elections will be part of that in his mind.
I do wanna address something Glenn just stated here, and I know you and I have discussed this.
Yeah.
She states, "I wonder if they're able to access ballots. States are only legally required to keep them election.
Yep.
I wonder if they're actually let them this long." Okay, here's the concern about, the 22-month, post discussed this last week. Certification has a very short time window, and the time window sometimes for different states, it ranges. Like in Michigan, I only know this off the top of my head, the certification process was November the 24th. And only November the
Yep.
24th from the election. So it was November the 24th. And only candidates are able to ask for a recall, but they're only given 48 hours before the election is certified. So it's a very short window. And this is where we talk about rigged by design. And even though we have 22 months to hold on to the ballots, that doesn't mean that we're going to be able to verify the ballots because when the opportunity is already closed.
Right.
There we have a catch 22.
You would
And
think
you
that
can
they would
discuss a little
have.
bit more about this, Blaine, when you come on as our guest on Tuesday. But we have been discussing month post-election, and that is part of the reason why a lot of people are trying to move on to the election for 2026 because we're having a hard enough time getting access to the ballots due to the procedural rules that are currently in place. So the likelihood is they're going to try to keep us contained until September pass, and at that point, there's gonna be no accessibility. So what are we gonna do for the election for 2026? Because I do not want to say to people, "Do not vote, your election isn't secure." We have to vote. That
Yeah.
is the only way that we're gonna
I'll never discourage.
guarantee our democracy.
By all means, please
Right.
vote. What I'm thinking is, um, I guess it's a little differently. And I mean, does anybody? Let's say midterms get here, and we do have them, right? And they go off without a hitch. Let's say Democrats wipe the floor. Let's say they get the House back, and let's say they kick ass in the Senate, right? Does anybody think Republicans are going to hand the power back over? Here you go, we lost.
No,
Hell
they're
no,
not. There
no.
there is a unverified, unsourced, leaked memo, and I'm gonna have to say unverified, unsourced because you know me, I have to find where things are coming from.
Yeah,
That's already written that the national government, the federal government wants access to the tabulator machines because they're already claiming that the 2026 midterms were irregular.
yeah. That's what I was talking about earlier. That memo. That's what Blaine got drugged for. By a large creator that is just being ridiculous. Only they didn't name her, but it's like that's what I was talking about earlier. She was clear. We don't know if this is real. We're not saying it's real. This is where we found it, you know. But it is awfully number one, it's believable because of what he tried to do the first time when the January 6th committee uncovered that document that, he never signed, the executive order that never got signed. And that's all we were saying. And people, and those are the people that are on the left that are, you know, no, we're special. That don't happen here. Don't worry, everything's okay. Safe and
Well,
secure to breathe in.
it's right. Well, it's bringing us right back to the Fulton County raid. It's actually setting a precedent,
Yep.
and that precedent is becoming normalized.
I
So
hope
it's
I hope, and
so
Blaine's still
go on.
here. I hope he does sign that. I hope even if something remotely close to that comes out before the midterms, I hope he signs it, he tries it. Because if he does, I'm gonna go to every single one of those creators, and I know who they are, and I'm friends with some of them and everything, and I'm gonna tell them, "Now what you got to say? Now what?"
Well,
But we're
how can
crazy,
you
right?
claim that how can you claim that the 2026 is irregular without having the 2026 election?
Right. They're getting
No.
prepared. They're getting
You
prepared,
know,
that's all.
yeah, we already prepared, and they're normalizing the federal government to take control of the tabulator machines. They're normalizing that,
Yep.
and this is under each state's control, so that is a problem,
What they're
and, people
saying
don't
is,
seem to
I think you gave me a thought here is, okay, I can see them saying something like, the voting machine themselves states, yeah, but once they leave the voting machines and they go to the tabulation machines, from there on, that belongs to the federal government. You see what I'm saying? That, you know, I could see them wording that like that. Yep, you control the elections, but once everything's been input into the voting machines for same day voting and then they get put in the tabulators, well, then that's for us, not you.
Yeah, I agree. S so let's take this opportunity to bridge this now to 2026. Um, I know that we're looking forward to having Blaine on here, but I have also invited another guest who I've worked with in the past, and his name is Anthony Christian. And Anthony Christian really talks a lot about changing the narrative, and preparation. And basically, he really is advocating for each state to do forensic auditing of the election prior to certification,
Yep,
which makes sense because, in my opinion, we're not going to be able to get the states to say in this time frame to say, "Oh yeah, we're going to just drop the tabulation machines and we are going to do paper ballot only." I mean, it makes sense to you and I, but there's too much money behind tabulation machines
yep.
trying
I'm okay with
trying
waiting a
this,
week.
and they're pardon me?
I said I'm okay with waiting a week, 10 days to find out who wins an
Yeah, I'm
election.
okay with
Yep,
waiting a week.
see nothing wrong with that.
And I'm okay with having a forensic audit. If they're not gonna get rid of the machine, I think burden falls on each state to actually do a forensic audit for announcing the winner.
Yep,
Oh boy, am I cut out or is Jason cut out?
you are.
So Anthony Christian, hello, can anybody hear?
My girl needs better internet, don't she?
Oh
There you
boy.
are. There you are. Hey, that's a little
Okay,
better there.
so
Hello.
Anthony Yeah, so Anthony will be also coming on as a guest, and I think he has a lot to share with our audience.
Good.
And and I'm looking forward to that. So I'm real glad that we were able to actually verify and get a commitment from him. He's not on board right now. I don't see him online, but I'll keep you posted in regards to that. Yeah, I like that idea too, Liz. And as soon as this Liz is suggesting two different
Yeah,
regulations
yeah.
with result
But then
that.
again, you have to remember, Liz, that as I was saying earlier, I don't know how long you've been here. All it takes is one line of code. That's it. One line of code that can be hidden. Because when they write these codes of zeros and ones and all that, I mean they're massive. They're huge, and you can hide just one line of code, and it would be hard to spot.
Correct.
To somebody that is even just a little bit trained, it would have to be you know a complete tech expert that knows how to look at the code and say, "Yep, this don't belong there." And there are very few people, that could probably do that. So even
Correct.
using two tabulators like that, sure, but they could still
I
do it to both.
well, maybe more along the lines of 3. Have the hand count, you have the tabular, and you have another tabulator, right?
Tabulation
Maybe 3
machine.
different things, and I'm not sure you're right. Maybe 3, so I think there are other ways to go about it, but what the one thing that I'm advocating for is we have to do verification before certification,
Yep.
not certification and then
Like
verify.
Blaine said, the vendors
Right.
the vendors are the ones that do the reporting. They report to the media, and there's only two vendors that report to the media. And they're supposed to I remember her, educating me about this. They're only supposed to check, or they check however many times a minute, to keep us updated. Like
Yeah,
whatever, however, that works. And that's where, like this will hold posted that stuff like when votes I've never seen it where votes, disappear from a candidate. Like, okay,
I
that
call
that
them
that
it's called ghost votes.
yeah,
I speak a lot about ghost votes as well. And it has happened, and, especially in Pennsylvania,
that
there's
costs
a
too much money.
big ghost vote. Yes. Yes, and so, yes, we do have to prepare for the midterms, and we don't have time on our sides.
Nope.
So with that, how we go about forward for that. So I am looking forward to that conversation, which will also be coming up soon. As you can see now, I'm going to begin to wrap it up. As you can see now, what Jason and I are trying to do is get as many people on board in regards to protecting 2026. Um, eh, you know, yes, we do believe that a recount of 2024 should take place, but in the event it doesn't take place, which is a high probability, we have to be prepared for 2026 to take back our democracy.
Hopefully we make it then. Till then.
This kind of power is concentrated in so few entities.
Yep.
Les, can you hear me? Am I the one that keeps coming in and out?
Yes.
I
Yes, you
see
are.
hearts.
Hearts, hearts, hearts. Those are people liking the live. You'll come back. Give it a second. There you are. Hi. Hello again. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. We are
Were
experiencing
you able
technical
to
difficulties today.
were you able to even hear me? I don't even know if people are hearing me.
I can
I'm
hear you.
just like,
You've been like,
"Hey."
you cut in and out a little bit, but it's a little better now. It's
Well,
working
then
again.
it's so,
Yeah, but Liz is right.
yeah,
Yeah, I
I
mean that
talk a lot.
the concentrated power. There's so few entities, and that's the problem. Is um our way of looking at people and glorifying, you know, one or a few people in this country. When this government was designed, it was supposed to be designed for the people and run by the people of this country as it was made. But when Citizens United
As
happened,
I
that changed everything in this country.
well, as I
And
said yes, as I said, in one of my notes, is that the people were supposed to be the fourth check
Yep.
in a check and balance system,
Now it's about who has the most
and
money.
we are no longer the fourth. Correct, and
And
that is the
this
result
includes
of the
Democrats too, so don't think that
Citizens United. No, no, I'm not partisan on this one. Remember, I'm not
yep, that
partisan. I'm gonna vote, so let me be very clear. I'm not a purist. I'm partisan. I believe that Harris won. I believe that her conceding in less than 24 was
that was wrong.
I would have took Harris over, Trump any day of the week.
Hopefully next week's
But
better.
we may be in a system is still rigged. Can anybody hear me?
Yeah, I
Give me a
got you.
heart if you can at least hear me because
Got you.
oh my god. So basically, it doesn't matter to me, you know? So I appreciate everyone joining us today. I've been having a lot of technical
Yeah.
issues today for whatever reason. I do wanna leave us with the final, thought. Um, if you have a narrative, a narrative, and you have, ICE enforcing that narrative, that equals leverage, and we need to change it. We need to change that. Um, we need to do the audits immediately after the election. Then we do certification. So we have to change that. And then finally, in order to bridge to 2026, preparation will beat the outrage that we're having. We have to be prepared. So, any final thoughts that you have today, Jason?
Um, don't give up with people. Don't when you see yeah, the most important thought I think for people is to always keep an open mind and don't believe that you live in some entitled bubble because you hit the geographical lottery. Um, we're just as vulnerable as any other developed country when it comes to you know whether our elections can be hacked or who's really in power, shit like that. And I'm not talking deep conspiracy, deep state shit. I'm not talking anything like that. I'm talking about, the richest men in the world, the what you people say the most powerful men in the world. What lengths will they go to keep certain stuff out of the public eye? What lengths would they go to? Because if the public found out about, you know, certain people and with the news of Ghislaine Maxwell talking about secret deals and shit, whether I believe her or not, I don't know. She's trying to get out of prison. Who knows? But if they have evidence of this, some of the most powerful people in the country are most likely sick pedophiles, if this is true. And this is who we let run us. And we have to stop letting the rich few run the many. We are the many. The power of the people is greater than the people in power. And we need to make sure the people in power fucking recognize that. Period.
Agreed. Period. But I would say full stop.
Full stop.
So, yes, full stop. So I absolutely agree. But while you were talking about that, it did uh, ma- reminded me is I'm not sure if anybody is aware, but you remember how Singlegate, big thing about treason and nothing ever happened? Well,
Yeah. Signal gate, right? Yeah. Okay.
So, with that being said, on the second page of news article, are you aware that talking about Big Brother, that Kash Patel is using single to infiltrate dissenters?
It wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
They're
It
a
was
bunch
on
of
the
idiots.
second page of a mainstream
Yeah,
article, like the
they're
second or third page of a mainstream
we have
article
the
that nobody has picked up yet.
we have the dumbest of the
No
dumb
one's picked it up.
running the country. That's what we have. We have the biggest idiots we could possibly find. But it's not just that they're idiots, it's that they're lapdogs. And that's what he did. He don't give a shit what their credentials are. He just wants to make sure that they'll bow down to his every move. And that's what he's found. The last time the read like that, what we talked about earlier, that first executive order J6 uncovered, what they were going to try to get the tabulation machines and all that. The only reason that never got signed is because there was adults in the room.
Right.
This time, there isn't no adults. They're lapdogs. So if that
Yes.
document turns out to be real,
They're loyalists.
but you see
They're
what he's gonna do,
loyalists.
and I'm gonna end with this. What he's gonna do is he's gonna calm things down for now. He's gonna pull back and he's gonna calm even in Minnesota, maybe a little bit, right? When summertime gets here, right around July, right? He's going to ramp things up. Maybe not back in Minnesota, but he will do it in the major metropolitan blue areas. He will go into Chicago, Detroit, New York City, all these major blue areas and ramp this shit up. And he's got enough employees, you know, $846 million for bonuses for ICE employees at $41,000 a person. Come on. And that's what's gonna cause the chaos. People are gonna get pissed and they're gonna be like, hell no. More people are gonna get hurt, injured, and possibly killed. And then that's what once everything is on fire, he's going to probably try to do the Insurrection Act. And then if this document is real, right, that was leaked, that's when that document will come out or something similar with him signing it, try to take control of it.
Well, we'll see about all that. I'm actually right now monitoring whether or not we're going to go through another shutdown. And I actually hope we go through a shutdown.
Yeah.
So that should be happening sometime during this weekend. So we're going to find out if we're going to
There
be
will.
upcoming on a shutdown. And that's going to actually change some of the things that we will be talking about upcoming next week. So
I can't
thank you,
wait to have
everyone,
Blaine
for
on though.
joining.
Where you guys are here, what you
Nice to
said.
have.
It'll be a Tuesday,
Right.
like you said, and Blaine is articulate. She's educational, and when she explains this process to you guys, a lot better than I can. Trust
Thank you
me,
for
you're gonna be
that.
like, "What?
Wait, whoa, 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 whoa,
What?"
whoa, 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 whoa. Wait, whoa, 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 whoa. Blaine, thank you for that.
Yeah,
Yeah, DHS bill just fell. The Senate, yeah, and that what that may mean is shutdown upcoming. And we can't wait to have you join us as well. We'll firm up the date. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. Spread our podcast to others. We do like to kind of do some hot takes, but we really would like to discuss how our system is rigged by design.
yep.
Um, if you haven't subscribed to Jason yet, Jason does a lot more videos. Please subscribe to him. If you haven't subscribe to me, I do a lot more written works. Go ahead and subscribe to me. I look forward to seeing you again next week, and I look forward to seeing you on Tuesday, or this Tuesday or the following Tuesday, Blaine. So thank you, everyone, and I'll get out the notes shortly after we log it off, most likely coming out this evening. Thank you.